Hello, everyone. I'm Gary Godsoe. Welcome to Velocity Online Racing's coverage of Round 7 of Season 5 of the VOR ICONIC Series, coming to you from Kansas Speedway for the Kansas 225 this Friday afternoon. Joining me, as always, in the booth is Kyle Klendworth. He is joining me, and we have ourselves it looks like conditions are going to be ripe for a bit of a pack race this afternoon. But first and foremost, don't try adjusting your computers, phones, or television sets. This is the new lighting model for iRacing, and it doesn't look very good. Now, I've turned off all of my filters. I've brightened this as much as I can in the short amount of time we had before the race session got into qualifying. So we're going to just deal with it as best we can. Hopefully you can see it all very well at home when we get out of the intro video here. But right now, current conditions, 76 degrees ambient, 78 degrees track temperature, as we are currently about 10 seconds away from wrapping up qualifying here for today's event.
I think some of that may be aided when the sun begins to set here. Some of the harsh shadows are what's contributing to the darkness, because you have such a bright bask of orange light from this sundown, beautiful sunset in Kansas, and then really, really dark shadows from the grandstands and the walls and the billboards. So if the sun goes down a little further and the stadium lights kick on, I'm sure the cars will be illuminated a little bit brighter. They'll be easier to see as this broadcast progresses.
Well, let's get to the starting lineup going here. Let's cue the music correctly. There we go. And we will bring those graphics up here. Here we go. And Matty Sinclair on the pole again with a speed of 216 flat. In fact, Clinty, he's the only car in the 216 brackets. Next to him
that dude knows how to qualify.
He does. Absolutely. Right next to him is Wags, making his second ever start here in the series. In his first start, he got the win. So he is that one trivia question we have. Whoever's won in their very first start, that would be Wags. With a 2:15.9, Julian and Vitor is in row 2. Santos and Kinder, row 3. Sanchez and Christensen, row 4. And Pim and Strauss on row 5. Silvazzi and Hesse back on row 6. Inch and Coker on row 7. And we got Bree and Weber in row 8. We have O'Sullivan, and even though it says Klendworth there in row 9, that is a clerical error. And Furness will be moving up into the spot that Clindy would have been occupying there in row 9. So 9 rows of 2, 18 cars going to take the green flag here at Kansas for 225 miles, 150 laps.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of lines of 4 cars wide later in this race. This track is just wide enough to fit 4 cars side by side by side, especially in the tri-oval and the backstretch. Gets a little hairy in the turns. Just because of the way the progressive banking is laid out, there's not quite enough room for 2 cars in each groove. Even though the track is wide enough for 4 wide, each groove is not. And if you put your left sides of the car on one part of the banking and the right sides on another, it really de-wedges the car and makes it prone to spinning. So look for drivers to establish their car in a lane completely within the seams of the racetrack.
Track is a 1.5 mile D-shaped oval. Race is 150 laps, 225 race miles, 45 mile per hour pit road speed limit, 5 sets of tires, 1 in the car, 4 in the pits, 85% fuel. Getting ready to come to green this time for round 7, and Sinclair wastes little time and takes off. And in fact, Julian's already filling in the spot, and then we got a battle on for second already.
Sinclair got such a big jump here. He may even be able to break the draft bubble before they even get going.
Wagner down to 4th. He slots in line. Kinder's going to stay on the high side. Everyone going to the bottom right now. 1 lap in the books.
It's the shortest way around. It'll be the best for fuel economy. I don't believe this will be a fuel save race. I think if they could manage to squeak out something like 50, you can't go 50. And that'd be the only way to cut a stop. So, let me do some quick calculations really quickly to make sure that's correct.
Julian goes purple. Weber goes purple. Ernest goes purple. So, right now, a little bit further on back, the momentum is building a little bit more. And there is O'Sullivan on the high side. Look at it, just moving right around. He goes around Strauss. Going to go 3 wide at the line. Someone almost grabbed the apron there. Not good. As Liam is wasting no time, and he goes purple lap that time by as he's bobbing and weaving. 219 flat.
Well, he's bobbing and weaving because he doesn't want to get boxed in.
He is boxed in, though. He is boxed in. He doesn't know. He can't get around Pim. Pim's been sitting on the bottom. Pim's doing nothing wrong. Oh, car in the wall, tumbling, and that is Silvazzi and Weber.
Silvazzi still flipping through 1 and 2. Finally rests on the wheels, but he's going to be punching out. That car is done for the day.
And we haven't even looked at the points yet. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let me uncheck that. We don't want to show the ERN drop again. Here we go. Watch this. And we're not doing any slow-mos. Oh, yeah, he just caught Weber on the high side as he tried to move up. A little bit of netcode quite wasn't clear.
Weber did some cartwheels. And Silvazzi did some pirouettes.
Yeah. Silvazzi not quite clear. Oof. Oh, wow.
That's one of those I hope he's not in VR moments. I guess the best thing you could do is shut your eyes, right?
Yeah, or rip off the headset. But we are now under caution at lap 6 of 150. And here is the point situation. As we will bring that up on the screen here. And already that has championship implications because Liam O'Sullivan is your points leader, has a 12-point lead over Silvazzi. Silvazzi now is out. He'll be classified in 17th position, Weber in 18th. Matty Sinclair in 3rd. He might move up to 2nd now. Hesche in 4th. But there's a big gap between Hesche and that top group, so he might not move up any positions. About the only person that might move here is Sinclair, possibly up to 2nd. Hesche in 4th coming into this race. Jesper not in the lineup. He's in 5th. Julian in the lineup today. He's currently in 2nd spot. He is in 6th. Pim in 7th. Santos 8th. Strauss 9th. And Weber, who is now out, he is in 10th. That might open the door for Christensen to move into the top 10. We shall see here. He's at 11th. Coker tied for 11th with Christensen. Inch, Kinder, Ortiz, Sanchez, Vitor, Lovern, Bree, and Simpson, your top 20.
Well, we've seen the points shift every week this season so far. Basically, we haven't had a points leader for 2 consecutive weeks ever. So we'll see if Liam O'Sullivan can navigate from the back of the pack and fend off Matty Sinclair now that Silvazzi is basically out of the contention for stealing that musical share, so to speak.
The real-world IndyCar track record here at Kansas, set by Thomas Schechner with a speed of 218.547 miles per hour. Your career wins leaders here at IndyCar at Kansas when IndyCar did visit it here. Dan Weldon and Scott Dixon each with 2 wins here at Kansas. If you're enjoying Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR ICONIC Series and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so don't miss out on future VOR iRacing broadcasts, including tomorrow afternoon, the big one, the granddaddy of them all, the crown jewel, the 13th running of the VOR Indy 500 for the IndyCar Championship tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And that'll be me and Clindy, as well as we'll be joined by Andrew Wood, who will be joining us as well on that one.
Power slide extraordinaire. Just like Matty Sinclair on the gas here in this restart zone, going as early as possible again. Altena was a little bit on the case. He kind of saw it coming and kept on the coattails of Sinclair that time, much better than last. But look at the separation that's caused through this field.
Yeah, we got cars entering turn 3 and still exiting off at 2. Now Julian's caught Matty. Decides to go to the high side. Can Julian get enough momentum over there to pull the pass off? Or just enough momentum to kind of get alongside Matty and antagonize him a little bit?
I don't think there's any need to apologize. These cars look great in golden hour.
And this we are streaming in 1440p, so if you have a device that can go, you can change the resolution. You can change that in YouTube. Matty's still the leader. Julian tucks in behind Matty. Pops back out, joining the battle now with Santos is Matty Wags. He's in a Kimball throwback livery.
I really don't see there being any way a driver can pass the leader on the bottom here with the temperatures the way they are, the way the setup sticks so well. You'd have to have a teammate, you'd have to slingshot together around the outside to even stand a chance. Or if you time your run just perfectly to the line, you might be able to snipe the leader by a nose. But unless Matty Sinclair fumbles the bag on pit strategy or has a slow green flag stop, I think this is his race to lose. He's got one podium, looking to add a big dub to his resume here in the VOR ICONIC Series.
Had a very successful season. This 4-car breakaway up at the front. Let's bring up the timing and scoring tree again. Update everybody where everyone currently is. We are at lap 14 of 150. There you see. And we'll show you the biggest, where the gap is between 4th and 5th. It's 1.5 seconds. So they are out of the draft envelope for these cars. They're trying to reel them in.
Yeah, notably, there are no teammates in this first pack. They're all 4 different organizations. Sinclair's an independent. Julian, obviously, a part of the VOR/Altena Autosports team. And then the Leaner Energy car. And then Wagner, I believe, functions as an independent in this league. But I know he, I don't know if he recently signed or just changed teams. I don't want to speak anything it's not true into existence.
I have not heard a team update from Matty Wag, so unless I hear it from him, I'm not going to say anything. And I actually haven't heard what team he potentially has agreed to work with now, so I don't even know that for a fact. I just knew that there would be a team membership update sometime from him soon. I just haven't heard on that. But we are at 17 of 150 now. Sinclair still leads.
I wonder if the second pack, if Sanchez could get on the horn with Kinder and just say, hey, look, I want to swap with you. It'll be a little bit faster for us to work together rather. I mean, being in line is fast, but they're pulling away. Actually, they're not. I guess Sanchez was a 10th and a half faster. He went from 1.3 back. Now he's at 1.2, 1.1. They are reeling in the leaders slowly but surely here, even without swapping.
Look at this group behind him. Oh,
really close for Liam there.
Liam just Brazilian cleared himself, and now he goes ahead and sends it ahead of Vitor. Vitor stays high, and he's going to fall back a couple positions and tuck back in line. But I think the way that I'm reading the English of this car and how it's kind of bobbing and weaving here with Liam driving is that I think Liam wants to be leading this group.
I think Liam always wants to be leading. It kind of baffled me that he chose not to qualify. I guess maybe he wanted to just feel out the pulse or the jitters of the field and figure out the best way to navigate it from the rear rather than being up in the eye of the storm. I just recently watched the season finale at Chicagoland from the IndyCar series on YouTube, the one where Hornish and Danny Weldon finished tied on points at the end of the season. And the racing there looked very similar to the racing we're seeing here, even though it was the IR05 versus the DW12. Can't remember what was that, 2006, Gary, or 2007?
Go back and look. Yeah.
It was the year after Weldon had won because he was trying to be back-to-back. So, if that helps at all.
And
that's the first year Hornish was with Penske.
Okay, that would have been 6 then. That makes 6. We're watching Liam. Liam will be starting from the pole tomorrow for the 13th running of the Velocity Online Racing's Indy 500. He qualified with a speed of 229.434 miles per hour. Right next to him will be Mason Mitchum and Matthias Strauss on the outside of row 1. That race again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to ring the bell. You'll be notified 30 minutes before we go live and when we go live tomorrow for the big race. And actually, the VOR Indy 500 was among one of the top 10 most watched IR18 full-length Indy 500s in 2024. So you will definitely want to check it out. It will be well seen and well passed around, so you make sure to check it out tomorrow, 4 p.m., right here on the Velocity Online Racing channel. Meanwhile, up front, Maddie Sinclair is still the leader. Julian is now tucked in behind Maddie for second. Santos third, Wags in fourth, as this top 4 is still kind of a separate group away from the next group of cars, which is the next group of 3, led by Rick Sanchez, Seb Kinder, and John Christensen.
Sanchez is almost there. Maybe a tenth and a half, and he'll be in the draft envelope of the leaders, and that train of 3 will become a 7-car fight for the lead. Meanwhile, O'Sullivan and Strauss are still working together. They're going to be sharing the front row tomorrow as the 2 of this top 3 starters, but they've really reeled in this second group of 3, so it's going to be a group of 11 rather than a group of 7 when Sanchez catches the leaders.
And we should have a full field of 33 starters tomorrow, so looking forward to that.
Nothing better than a 33-card field at Indianapolis. I mean, maybe a 40-car field at Kentucky, but that's like the only thing. That's the only thing I can think of. Or maybe 600 kilometers at Michigan. You know, that's also pretty cool.
I think there's going to be possibly 40.
Right up.
I mean, there'll be possibly 40 cars in that lineup, but we shall see. And they have caught that second group as we are watching it right here.
And I think Sanchez and company might have been watching their mirror instead of out of the visor, because they've lost 2 tenths to Wagner and company at the front. And I mean, if O'Sullivan and Strauss can start leading, they're faster than these 3, or at least they figured out how to swap better. So perhaps they'll be able to track down the leaders, who I think have absorbed a couple of lap cars.
I think at least 1 lap car up there. As we ride with O'Sullivan, he is working the high side.
And the reason they caught that lapper is simply due to the draft, right? If you were caught sleeping on that restart and you were not in the draft of the car in front of you, you will be almost a third of a second slower a lap without having someone break the air for you.
Who is up there? That is
Shane Coker.
Shane Coker.
Oh, he's 3 laps down. I wonder if he didn't catch a piece of the action between Weber and Silvazzi at the very beginning that we missed.
Yeah, he is 4 laps down to the action right here, so maybe he had to get a little work done on this car. I will point out, green car. Green things happen to green cars, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we had a whole discussion about that in one of the league servers today about all the different IndyCar drivers and NASCAR drivers who've had bad luck in green schemes.
Now that's just not a Gary myth.
Oh, no.
That is well believed by other drivers out there. Waltrip's one of them, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, couldn't ever win the 500 in the Do Machine. He won it in the Tide Ride. So we are closing in here on the first set of pit stops. Drivers are going to look to go at least 37 to 38 laps on each of their stints. It requires just the lightest touch of save to go 38, 39, or 40. It shouldn't be difficult at all for anyone to do it. If anyone has trouble doing it, it would be Sinclair. But Sinclair, just like the rest of the field, had that early yellow. Oh, no, more trouble!
That is Sanchez in the 5 with Strauss.
Maybe there is something wrong with the lighting, Gary. You get the brightest colored cars on the track, or the two that get run into at the front of the broadcast. Maybe they're not as bright as they normally are for the drivers behind the wheels.
We'll see what happened here. Oh, Sanchez, little net code, but little dirty air.
Eighth of a lane. Yeah, eighth of a lane higher because of dirty air, and then net code just sucks you together. Such a shame. So many drivers.
That was Vitor. Let's go watch from Vitor's point of view here.
So this is at the start of the lap. You can kind of see everybody trying to jockey themselves to be in position to get the draft of Coker in front, which would let them slingshot to be at the front of this pack, right? That's what O'Sullivan's doing.
That's what happened. Yeah, he just got the dirty air, and boom.
I think it might have been partially he was trying to follow right in O'Sullivan's wake, right? And O'Sullivan wasn't right on the bottom because he was trying to follow Coker, who was trying to give all of the leaders space.
Oh, contact on the pit road! As Santos, I think, might have gotten into the back of Julian. Then the accordion action when O'Sullivan got into the back of, or I think Wags got in the back of Vitor, Edson, and had to check up. Let's go back and watch that.
Little bit of bumper
and Wagner is showing with the meatball right now, so we'll go back and see what happened. Oh, Julian.
Sinclair.
Oh,
it starts with Sinclair.
So is Julian possibly damaged?
And it's got to be wing damage, hopefully for him. It looked like his nose cone was crumpled up. Wagner's got wheel damage. He'd be gone by now if he had anything less. He may just punch out, or maybe he'll go see how bad it is or fixed. And then one of the leaner cars just left, so
Santos
Santos probably had wheel damage as well. Probably less significant than Wagner's, but I'd assume Wagner had a bent toe link or messed up toe.
But watch this from Wagner's point of view. And you just can't tell what's going on. Bam. You just can't really tell what's going on in front of you. You sit so low, and the way the pit road rules are here, you have to get in this outside lane. You can't go you can't go below until you get closer to your pit, just like you saw Liam there did, or you get a penalty. And so it forces you to have to fall in line, and then when an accordion happens, that's kind of one of the results.
So if we go back live here, has Wagner pulled back out?
No, he has not.
No, he's going to be a lap down here in just a moment.
So they do have a fast repair, but if you don't have it enabled, it won't operate for you right away. And so he might not have had it checked. And then when he got to the pit road, they just started working in the car, and that's something you can't. By that point, it's too late to use a fast repair.
Well, plus the damage he has now wouldn't end his day, right? You'd rather use the fast repair for terminal damage, right? Something that can't be repaired.
So we got some shout outs in chat. We got Go 44, Go 44, Go 95, another for the 44. So a lot of John Christensen fans out there. And a shout out for the 95. That's for Vitor. He's in 5th, getting ready to go green. So Christensen in 4th, Vitor in 5th. Answering the shout outs in chat. And wow, Sinclair goes to the low side and doesn't even wait for the pace car, really. He just goes.
It's worked wonderfully for him so far. You just get your competitors all strung out behind you. They can't mount a run against you. And now he's got O'Sullivan rather than Altena. I think there might have been team comms there. Julian maybe said, hey, Liam, Addy's going to go early. Get ready for it. Because O'Sullivan's had the best reaction so far of anyone behind Sinclair.
And this is a battle for the points lead right here. Not just a battle for the lead of the race, but a lead of the points. As these are the two chief combatants at the top right now in the standings. Seb Kinder in 3rd. His top 3 have broken away a little bit. Next 3 led by Christensen, Vitor, and Pim. 40 of 150. Go ahead.
This is where if O'Sullivan wants to be a great teammate, what he can do is kind of drag the brakes or sit 2 to 3/10 of a second behind Sinclair, right? You probably let Seb Kinder know that this is the plan, so that way he can bring Christensen all the way up to the front, so that 44 can move up from 4th.
Still a very long way to go, and at least 2 more stops that we're going to make.
Greg Forsyth checking in from chat. Always the incident steward reviewer. Blames that squarely on the leader for brake checking the field. I don't disagree. I think, if anything, it's inexperience showing on Sinclair's part, not knowing how to smoothly get to pit road speed, but you also don't want to get jumped, right? But I think the right side pit road rule here helps negate that. If you're forced to the right, if you get to pit road speed well before you get to pit road commitment cone, where the speed starts to be enforced, no one can dive to your left and pass you because you slowed down early.
Sinclair stays high and allows Liam to peek underneath, and there is a pass for the lead. O'Sullivan up 16 spots from the rear to the front. And here comes...
They're trying to work together to pull away from the rest of the pack.
And here comes Matty back. Yep.
These two drivers are shared countrymen. Not too many in the field. We have a very diverse group of drivers here from all over the world.
And there's Sanchez coming up to speed on the backstretch, just staying out of the way of everybody. Top 2 continue to swap back and forth. Seb Kinder, very interested party in 3rd spot, just kind of waiting this thing out. Christensen, go ahead.
I'd be the happiest guy on the planet if I were Seb Kinder. I'm basically guaranteed a podium with the 2 leaders swapping in front of me. Christensen, great job holding the wheel straight there as he gets split 3 wide by Van Gastel and Guillermo.
Yeah, I don't think he expected that to go 3 wide, and it's a little early to be doing that.
We're about a third of the way through the race, Gary. There's only 66% of it to go. If you're not going to go now, when are you going to go?
I think it's a little bit early for that still. And then there's a group behind him led by Julian and Layson Furness making his first start here in this series for the first time in a while. Welcome him back.
A handful of starts last season,
Yep.
perhaps the season before. I really think Altena might be suffering more permanent damage from that pit road contact. If you watched our Pocono Open Series broadcast, my teammate Jesper Orman had similar types of toe damage from slight contact on the track, and just having your wheel out of alignment so the contact patch is not on the pavement like it should be really slows you down on these high-speed tracks where being able to put all the power down matters a lot.
And we'll ride with Julian, look at his how he's tracking. It seems to be tracking kind of straight.
Things are not always as they appear. One of the great faults of the human experience is that your eyeballs often lie to you.
It is dark out there, that is for sure.
Frequent competitor Yako Seeger's in the chat chiming in. Nice to see you, Yako. Shame you can't be on the track today. We'll hope to see you back next week or the next time we're out here in the Iconic Series. When is that, Gary? Where will we be next time?
2 weeks from today at Legacy Phoenix. Proper Phoenix, folks. It's the Phoenix that God intended.
You know why they named the mountain next to the Raceway Rattlesnake Hill, Gary?
I'm just going to guess they probably found some rattlesnakes on it.
No, in fact, the first promoter didn't have access to the land at the time, and so he started the rumor that it was named that so fans would not camp up there and watch the race for free in fear of rattlesnakes.
All right, I like it. A number of years and fans have seen many an IndyCar race up from those mountains, hanging over the overlook of Phoenix Raceway there. Watching out the back end of Julian's car as we see Edson Santos, Daniel Hesje, Tim Bree back there.
I may retract my statement, Gary. I know Daniel Hesje is a connoisseur of fuel saving. It's entirely possible that these guys figured out a way to math out a stop fewer than the leaders. However, I don't know if it's going to work out for them, but we'll see.
Less than 100 to go now. As Santos now is up with Furness. Meanwhile, back up front, it has not changed at all.
Long gone. They've got 3 seconds over Van Gastel, and it's only growing. They've been faster by a tenth or 2/10 every lap because of the swap. Friendly co-opetition, right?
Co-opetition.
Even though Sinclair knows O'Sullivan is his main title rival, he would rather finish better today and count on misfortune down the road, or a delta in their performance later in the series, than throw away what is almost assuredly a great finish today by working with the fastest car on the track. Now, when this situation gets really hairy is when you get to 40 to go, 30 to go. When do you stop working together? Because one of you will refuse the swap, and you have to be the one to say, I'm not swapping anymore, and that's how you win these races. Craig, who's in chat, he and I did that at Fontana in the Warriors for Peace series. On the resolution of the final green flag pit stop, we were chasing down Adriano. Craig figured that Adriano was going to take the bottom in front of us and cut me off in the middle of a swap. And I was thinking we were going to swap to go around him, but Craig shut me out from the bottom and secured second place for himself. Circumstances happened after that, but had nothing happened, Craig would have finished second. I would have finished third. Just because he took the bottom first and said, nope, I'm not sharing anymore. It's all for me.
Matty in second, got a second pole of the season at this race. He was the pole sitter at Indianapolis back when we raced there at the start of March. Liam has 3 poles this season, and Julian has 2 poles, so only all the poles have been occupied by 3 drivers this season. The wins, though, has been spread around a little bit more. Liam O'Sullivan and Jesper Orman are both with 2 wins this season. Daniel Hesje got his first breakthrough win at Iowa in round 4. Edson Santos got a big win at Kentucky in round 5. Do we see another first-time winner today this season in the form of Kinder and Sinclair, or do we see another repeat win and 3rd win of the season for Liam O'Sullivan as we get into the final stages now of this race? 61 of 150, less than 90 to go.
Yeah, barring a caution, the winner will come from these 3 cars unless they all fail to execute on pit road. If they all get speeding penalties or unsafe entries or something to that effect, one of these 3 cars will win the race. I would be really interested to see if and when Sinclair stops swapping, because it won't be anytime soon, right? It'll probably be like lap 120, right? Because at that point, they'll have built the lead so large no one can catch them, even if they race side by side for the remainder of the race. Then the question becomes, what does Kinder do to try to put himself in a position to win? Does he go wide and build a big run? Does he calm to whoever's in second, whether it be O'Sullivan or Sinclair at that time, and say, hey, look, let's try to swap together on the high side to get one of us to win instead of that guy, right? Those are all options available to you in the sim because you can always talk to all your other drivers on the track.
We are quickly approaching next round of pit stops. And right now, the way it looks like and the way that these cars are kind of separated on the racetrack, we're looking at green flag stops because we do not see a lot of big packs. We see a lot of little packs right now. 27, 28 laps on this stint for many of these drivers. They went 36 last time. The caution fell right at the right point for everyone to hit pit road, and they did. But that included a earlier caution in that run. So there were 2 cautions in that first stint. And we expect that for 36 with 2 cautions, it'll be a bit more closer to 30, 31, 32, as we are right in that window and neighborhood right now.
Yeah, the fuel number I came up with in practice was something like 37 laps, right? But 38 laps, you'll have to make at least one stint of 38 in order to get to the 50-lap distance. Excuse me, 150-lap distance.
And they just crossed the line for lap 30 of this stint. So who will be the first to blink on pit road?
It'll be Sinclair, probably. He's led the most. O'Sullivan has led almost as much, but I think Sinclair, honestly, you burn the most gas getting this car up to speed, and he's done it more aggressively than anyone else on every restart. So I know that they just pit before this most recent restart, but being in the lead and breaking all that air for everyone, putting the hammer all the way down, burns so much more fuel. It's like almost a quarter gallon that you can never recover, especially if all you get to do is swap with people instead of do what Seb Kinder's doing. I'd not be surprised if Seb Kinder goes 2 or even 3 laps longer than the 2 leaders.
Yeah, he's been very patient back there, just following, biding his time.
That's all he needs to do.
Chilling.
Yeah, there's no benefit to leading all of these laps, right? The 2 in front of him have almost gotten to the point where one of them will assuredly lead the most laps today, so why not put yourself in the best position to win, which is to have the least amount of time on pit road by filling up your fuel tank with less fuel.
6 seconds over the second group right now. This first group has. That is their edge. Second group currently led by Pim Van Gastel in 4th, Furness in 5th, Vitor in 6th, Christensen 7th, Santos in 8th, and Altena back to 9th.
Telling you, Gary, that car's broken, man. That car is not going like Julian would want it to.
I'm sure he's probably feeling a lot of frustration, but I will say that Edson Santos, from past experience, Santos and Hesje, they are more than likely working on something right now.
they're a little bit of fuel wizards. You know, they wave the magic wand and they figure out how to extend the gas tank a little longer than everyone else. And in this car, it's all skill. There are no tricks, right? There's no fuel map. There's no weight jacker. There are no tools to make the car handle differently. All you get is your feet and your steering wheel. That's all you have.
That's how much and how do you lift on the loud pedal is determining how much you save fuel here and who you're staying behind and getting the draft from. They're all behaving for the most part, although Vitor and Pim want to get racy.
I think maybe they feel like Furness is not doing a good job leading this group or is being uncooperative with swaps, right? And they just see the leaders getting further and further away. At a certain point, probably after green flag pit stops, you'll find two of these cars, whether it be Van Gastel and Guilherme, shuffle him out or execute better on pit road.
Oof.
And then they'll start working together.
Vitor weaving all over the front stretch. Maybe some signs of frustration, and there you see Christensen. Many shout-outs for him in chat. He goes to the high side. Brazilian clears himself in front of the Brazilian. He has now moved himself up to 6th. "38 laps for this stint for our leaders." Do we see them come to pit road this time? Nope, they're going to stay on out. They will more than likely be entering pit road off of turn 3. I don't know if that's been really discussed, but that has been the current trend this season for the IndyCar and ICONIC championships. Is during green flag pit runs or pit cycles, they would enter the apron on the backstretch at turn 3. Gonna go another lap. They're in the neighborhood of 40 now.
Starting this run with 2 or 3 laps of yellow, right, really helps. Those yellow laps are basically 2 laps of yellow equals 1 lap of green, and you can really save aggressively under yellow too. You can even make it 3 laps of yellow is worth 1 lap of green. So, I mean, they're probably got 2 or 3 more laps, maybe, but it looks like they're positioning to get all lined up on the bottom here for maybe a pit stop here or the next time by.
Yep, here it is. And no, it is not off of 3. Oh, it's O'Sullivan spins coming to the cones.
This is exactly what I was talking about. You have to execute on pit road. This is wide open now.
Layson Furness. Oh, he spins on pit road. He was speeding.
Big time. Yeah, he's going to have a penalty.
He does have a black flag right now. And Shane Coker also has a black flag on pit road, and he might have punched out. But Matty Sinclair down to his stall, up on the jacks, and he's down and away. And that is going to be... He's going to have one more stop.
Yep, everyone should have one more stop. I don't think there's a way to reduce one more stop out of this run.
Yeah, it's going to be... And it's a pretty significant stop, too. It's not a splash and go. He was going to probably hop in next time around lap 119, 120, somewhere in there, and then he would have another 30-run stint. So they would probably be filling up most of the way and putting new tires on. So Matty moves back onto the racetrack, and he moves ahead of Seb Kinder. As Liam O'Sullivan, just a disastrous visit to pit road.
Well, he had such a big lead, Gary. He's going to come out with that second pack. I think that slide was about a 5 or a 6 second slide, which was their lead, right? So once Brie, Guilherme, Heshy, Santos, Eltenas, and the rest of them all pit here, I would not be surprised to see O'Sullivan lead that second pack.
And Tim Brie coming to pit road. He might be dead sticked.
Yeah, he
is dead stick. He is dead stick.
And this is where it's hardest, is getting down pit road without any fuel. It looks like he had a little bit to kick it down pit road, just a little bit.
Ensign Santos, black flag. Hold on pit road.
These are some established veterans of the series making big-time mistakes on pit road today.
So Bree makes it to his stall, yeah. Has not restarted now. He's restarted, and he is off, so he will rejoin. But Sinclair is the leader. And not sure what happened to Bree there, why he missed pit road the last time. But he ran that tank dry. Sinclair, your leader, by 1.8 seconds over Kinder. O'Sullivan now in third, 5 seconds back of Kinder.
Look at the gap between O'Sullivan and Christensen shrinking so rapidly. Liam is falling back on purpose to John Christensen. They're going to work together to try to chip away at this lead to Kinder and Sinclair.
That is he just turned to 27.5 while everyone behind him turned to 25.7.
And the reason you do that is because you want to get to those other cars faster. You're giving up time now to have more laps working together. It's a momentary setback, right? It's like investing for your future. You save a little bit today, and compound interest will like save you over time.
So Sinclair, your leader after the round of pit stops. Kinder in second. Liam O'Sullivan third, as now that group has caught him. John Christensen in fourth. And now he moves up to third as the field kind of blows right by O'Sullivan. I don't think that they're too interested in helping him, honestly.
I said, nice teamwork. We don't want to help you. You're the points leader. We want to beat you.
We see how fast you have been all day. Yeah, I don't really want to help you out too much here. Pim is back in this group in fifth, and Vitor is back in this group in sixth. And then there's a group of two cars with Daniel Hesje and Julian Altena in seventh and eighth.
That's the spirit of co-opetition, right? You have all of these people on the racetrack who should want to work together, but everyone has ulterior motives. Everyone has a different objective in the race. And sometimes it's not just enough to finish well. You want to make sure someone else finishes poorly. You see that accomplished in all sorts of ways, whether it's feeding them dirty air, banging tires, or, just brake checks here and there. You do things that are pretty malicious, but short of, being Ayrton Senna on Alan Prost,
I tell you what, when the lights come on, the car shows up for Daniel Hesje in that yellow pearl livery of his. That is very sharp at night.
Well, that's the G, right? It's the black gold racing, so he's got the pearl gold on.
Love it. Really nice. Love it. Very nice. And he has caught this second group. Him and Julian. Here's a good look at Julian. You hear Hesje kind of rolling out of it a little bit. Julian had to take a little bit of action on the high side.
Yeah, this is where all of that fuel saving is going to pay off for the second group, right? They're not looking to cut a stop. They're looking to cut seconds or fractions of a second off of their last stop. So the longer you can go here means the less fuel you'll need to get to the finish. It's about half a gallon for each lap. And each half gallon into the car is about half a second on pit road. So we'll see how it stacks up for the savers versus the pushers.
Well, if these guys, that their math, and we're looking at these two, Julian and Hesje, they went 44 laps on that last stint, the longest out of all the drivers. If they can repeat that again, they'd be pitting right around lap 125. So all they need to do is get 25 laps of fuel and a new set of tires, 4 new tires. And if you're
getting that less, like that small of a fill, you may not even get tires, right? Tires will just slow you down in the box.
Yeah, we'll see. Still, 25 laps of fuel is still a pretty significant amount. And normally it takes, 5 seconds to change your tires? So if you can do your tires in 5 seconds and get fuel, might as well throw on a new set of tires. If anything happens less than 5 seconds, I would say keep your tires on and just go with the splash and dash.
Now, O'Sullivan has chopped into Sinclair's lead. They were about 6.7 seconds back when he got to the front of this group.
5.9.
7/10. Yep.
And
that was 5 laps. So every 5 laps, they're going to gain a second, it looks like.
Problem is, will they have enough time?
think they'll have plenty of time. They will have plenty of time if they continue at this pace. They just need to continue to work together and not become a bucket of crabs. And the bucket of crabs analogy is if you have a big bucket, like a 5-gallon bucket, and you fill it up with crabs you want to boil and have a nice seafood dinner with, if they were all to stack on top of each other, they could all help each other out of the bucket, right? But instead, they pulled each other back down every time. And they say, no, you can't come out. We're all stuck in here. I'm going to grab you and pull you down instead of, letting you grab me and pull me up. So we'll see if these guys all start pulling each other up or if they pull each other down. So far, it's all been up.
Are they crabs or are they ants? Let's see that.
The ants go marching on.
You know what the Pink Panther says when he steps on an ant, right?
No, I don't.
Did ant, did ant, did ant, did ant, did ant. Anyways.
Oh, Gary, no.
I'm not at the Chuckle Hut this week. You do not have to tip your waiters and waitresses. I am not here all weekend.
Hot take in the booth, and you can tell me to keep my opinions to myself, but we should abolish tipping. Everyone should be paid a living wage.
Up front, it is Maddie Sinclair, your leader by 1.9 seconds. And if you're Maddie, and now you're kind of you've the last couple of races, you kind of really showed your racecraft is improving. Each time, kind of improving upon yourself, and now really, you could kind of feel yourself stepping up to the precipice now. What do you like? What's it like for you in the car that you have yourself a 1.9 second lead? You got one more stop to go, but you have pretty much dominated this race up until this point.
Well, lucky for Maddie, this is a track where you're not going to get passed if they catch you, right? He's still going to have the preferred line. He's still got a bad, fast race car. What he's got to be worried about is losing extra time on pit road. He's going to be in a position where he saw Liam spin out, others get speeding penalties, right? He might back down his entry the next time he comes in and give up 3/4 of a second. But he's also going to be on pit road longer than everyone else. He's burning the most fuel. He has no one braking his air, no one to work with. So long as he puts himself in a position to not get leapfrogged during the pit cycle, which may be close, honestly. Christensen and O'Sullivan are doing a very good job working together. He may be biting himself later, kicking himself that he didn't slow down like O'Sullivan did. He could have slowed down, and he and Seb Kinder could be swapping every lap, right? And keeping that 6-second lead he had. Instead, it's slowly diminishing. It's already down under 5, right? Pit stops here will be in about 10, 15, 20 laps or so, depending on who you are and how much you saved. But this lead is getting to the point where it's evaporating slowly but surely.
Put yourself in Seb Kinder's shoes. He's out of the draft. He can't really reel him in. But in the meanwhile, the group behind him is catching him. What is going through his mind right now?
You feel like the loneliest dude on an island. You've been, I don't want to say snookered, but you were promised an easy podium when you're running behind O'Sullivan and Maddie earlier, and then one of them didn't execute their pit stop, and maybe that got in Seb's head, right? He saw everyone else having troubles. He goes, I just need to be nice and conservative here, not speed, not spin, just do my pit service nice and easy. And he ended up losing Sinclair by about a second, right? And that's all it takes to lose the draft. So you just feel so lonely. If anything, you could dial up the radio and say, hey, Maddie, they're getting bigger in my mirror, man. I've only got 2 seconds clear of them. If we work together, right, we could pull away. But I think Sinclair is in the position where it's too risky for him to work with Seb now. He would have had to do it at the very beginning of this run rather than, halfway through.
And there you see from the view from Seb Kinder looking ahead. That is our leader. That little white dot just in front of him right there. And then there is a lapped car in front of our leader, Maddie, by about 3 seconds, and he will catch him. That is the form of Tim Bree.
Yeah, and Tim Bree's there because he ran dead stick. He ran his car all the way out of gas, getting to pit road, trying to catch a yellow during the cycle to catapult himself to the front. As Hinch likes to talk about on IndyCar broadcasts, getting out of the danger zone put him in an entirely different danger zone, and that's, the out of fuel zone. So if Sinclair can reel in Brie, all of his worries will be gone. He will have a car that wants to work with him and wants to stay on the lead lap and will tow him around and might even swap with him. The problem is their pace is very similar and they're on slightly different pit cycles because Sinclair is going to be coming here first and Brie will be out almost 10 laps longer than Sinclair, maybe more.
Well, we are now less than 50 to go. Final pit stop still on the horizon for everybody.
And that lead is under 4 seconds.
If you are just joining us, this is Velocity Online Racing's coverage of the VOR ICONIC Series coming to you from Kansas Speedway for the Kansas 225. We've completed 107 of 150 scheduled laps. Make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race, which is tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the 13th running of the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship Indy 500 right here on this channel. Make sure you subscribe, ring the bell. You'll be notified 30 minutes before we go live, and right when we go live. We're expecting a full field tomorrow of 33 drivers. You won't want to miss it. Like I said, last year's Indy 500 here in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Championship was among one of the top 10 most viewed Indy 500s on the entire YouTube service. If you go ahead and compare other IR18 Indy 500 races. And yeah, we definitely put on a good show. You won't want to miss it. Over 1,000 views watched last year's race or last season's race. Be a part of the action. Make sure you check it out, 4 p.m. Eastern. Maddie Sinclair is your leader by 1.9 seconds. That gap has not shrunk at all. The gap that is shrinking at the moment, and we'll take a look out the backside of Kinder's car, is that mean group of about 7 cars right behind our car in second place here. And it's Christensen, O'Sullivan, Vitor, Altena, Van Gastel, and Hesje, all in that group. Back to 8th position, and they are running Kinder down right now. And they're going to catch Kinder. It might be about the time he pits, but they are going to catch him.
Yeah, and then Sinclair's next, right? And he's not too far up the road. But O'Sullivan's going to look like a genius when this works out for him. So long as there are no more yellows and this goes green to the end, he and Christensen are going to chew away this entire lead, this entire deficit, so long as they execute this next pit stop correctly. You're familiar with the expression, how do you eat an elephant, or how do you climb a mountain, Gary?
One bite at a time, one step at a time.
Yep, just little by little. You can't get anything done in one lap or one corner. You've got to run the whole race to win the race. So these guys are making up for the mistakes they made earlier, but the leader's, not walking away. The leader's standing still. He doesn't have any friends. So having friends helps. Really, really good teamwork here by these two.
And you can hear the revs pick up in Christensen's car as he gets that draft, slingshots around, and just gets and inches him closer and closer and closer to Kinder. That was 6 seconds at one point. Look at it now. It is 2.3 seconds.
It's just about a tenth a lap. Maybe a tenth and a half.
That's getting closer, right? And closer and closer right there. That's his target right there.
And this is where Sinclair's got it rattled in the back of his mind. It's like, if he can hit pit road or work the Tim Bree at all, like if he can be half a second faster on pit road, or if he and Tim Bree can swap for 10 laps, they're not going to catch him. He needs something to kind of shift the momentum in his favor, because as it stands, they're going to catch him right at the end of this race.
Well, Matty did get around Rick Sanchez, who's kind of down on power after an incident he had a little bit earlier in the race. He is in 14th spot. The top 11 are on the lead lap. Matty is not going to catch Bree quite yet. Bree is about 2.4 seconds up the road. Kinder got around Sanchez.
Now let's see if Sanchez plays nicely with this snarling group behind him.
Oh, coming to pit road, Kinder along with Matty.
I think Matty played it safe. You look at how small the gap is between him and Kinder. The time gap will remain the same, so you can kind of count between the boxes how far behind Kinder is. So from this line.
And also on pit road, Liam O'Sullivan.
Yeah, I think Sinclair gave up about almost a half second to Kinder, just to be mistake-free. They're going to be under a blanket here. This is when Kinder needs to hustle, or Sinclair can crack the throttle. Get him to work with you instead of being the bridge for that second group of cars.
Leader is now Vitor as he hits the start-finish line with Julian. Julian goes underneath and pulls off the pass. Not sure what happened to Layson Furness, but he is now back in 12th. He was part of this group at one point.
Speeding penalty.
Had the speeding. Okay, had the speeding penalty on pit road. You're right. That's right. He had a black flag. John Christensen, black flag on pit road.
Oh, you 44 fans in the chat.
Oh, caution on the racetrack.
Stretch. Julian Altena's fortune has turned. So has Timothy Bree. All these cars are going to be in the lead, trapping our previous leader, Matty Sinclair, one lap down.
Who was that? I think that was Rick Sanchez, wasn't it? Who was involved in the wreck? No, it wasn't Rick, I don't think.
If it wasn't him, it might have been Heshy. It was a yellow and black car, wasn't it? Or might have been Pim Van Gastel. Got to get some different schemes out there.
It's Matty Wagner. So we're going to watch. We're going to go back a little bit further than we need to, about an extra 15 seconds. But we're going to. I think someone was coming to pit road and maybe not warned everybody. Oh no! No, that was Vitor, and he just piles into the back. Is it Vitor?
He checks up. He's coming to pit road. Yeah.
Oh, and it's Heshy just piles in the back of Wagner. Wagner was trying to slow down, so nothing wrong with Vitor there.
If he didn't call his pit road, that's what went wrong.
Yeah, and now he's going to cycle somehow to be the leader out of all this. Julian now coming off of pit road second. Final stops completed. Van Gastel in third. Sinclair in fourth.
No,
Tim Bree fifth.
Vitor should have a black flag for pitting when the pits were closed. So it was very close, but the lights were on before he crossed the clone. And if he got service, he's going to have to serve a black flag or an end-of-line penalty here prior to the restart.
Yeah, I don't see a black flag in timing and scoring, but he is going to the back.
Yeah, they don't show EOLs on the iRacing interface, but you do get them, and you do have to serve them.
Whoa, well, that changes things up. That really drastically changes things up. Your new leader is Julian Altena, who was doing very well during the first stint until coming to pit road and then got basically rear-ended our leader. And since then, he got rear-ended by the car behind him, and his car hasn't really been the same since. But now he's the leader. Pim is second. Tim Bree, not sure how he managed to get up to third, but he is there. He is third. He's stopped, so he is good to go to the end.
He was just the last car in the lead lap. His fortune was reversed because he was able to go long on fuel, even though he ran
longer than everybody else. You're right. Mm-hmm. So remember, we saw him coming to pit road dead stick. So he is a little bit of fortuitous luck there for him. Vitor in fourth. But Matty Sinclair, unfortunately, with the bad luck, he is now cycled back to 5th.
And that's that danger zone, right? You push harder, you burn more fuel, you come early and expose yourself to the risk of a yellow coming out while you're on the track. Good fortune also for John Christensen. He was able to serve the majority of his 40-second speeding penalty under yellow. He did not lose a lap from having that penalty. So
Daniel Hesche
still alive.
Daniel Hesche checking in from pit road, and he is not very happy that some lap down cars were not racing out there very well today. Going green, hopefully for the final time this race. Altena, your leader now. He has inherited the lead. Van Gastel in second. Tim Bree in third. How are these two going to work and try to go against Julian? Vitor in fourth. Sinclair in fifth. Sinclair to the low side of Vitor. And he moves on by.
This is all going to be co-opetition. Sinclair's got to hope that Vitor works with him to catch the front three because Altena pulled the same trick Matty's been using all race. Go as soon as possible and leave him in the dust.
Your top 7 all on the lead lap. Altena, Van Gastel, Bree, Vitor, Sinclair, Kinder, and O'Sullivan.
Oh, I lied to you, Christensen fans. He did lose a lap. Dan Ench is the first car 1 lap down, and Christensen is right behind him.
And you're thinking, how do you speed in these cars on pit road? You got a button that governs, how fast they go. And I mean, that's true, but these cars are not the easiest cars to slow down.
And the button doesn't slow you down. It just stops you from going faster. So if you lock the brakes up, if you have your steering all crossed up coming to pit road, spin out, or if you hit the cone, all of those are pit road penalties.
Yeah, they're going from 210 plus miles an hour down to 45 by the time they hit the cone designating where the speed limiter must be obeyed.
Well, and you're coming off of banking, right?
And
so
banking,
these cars
yep.
are built to go fast on an oval, which means their suspension is all asymmetrical to turn left all the time, and you're turning left off of the banking that's your crux, and you lose all your downforce because you're not going 210 anymore. The car is just very, very unstable at low speeds.
Bree is around Van Gastel, and he's trying the high side now on Altena.
This is music to the ears of Vitor and Matty Sinclair. These three continue to fight like this rather than swap. They will catch, and we'll have a 5-car fight for the win.
And once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Velocity Online Racing's coverage of round 7 of 11 of the VOR Iconic Series, coming to you from Kansas Speedway for the Kansas 225. We're currently Julian Altena, former series champion, is your leader as we are getting into the final stages of this race. 21 to go. Again, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on the next race, which is tomorrow. The VOR IndyCar Championship, 13th running of the Indy 500.
Sinclair and Vitor are there. They will have the draft of the 3 leaders down the backstretch. The third pack behind being led by Kinder, still in hot pursuit, trying to swap to catch up to the second. I think the third pack might run out of time, but this second pack is there.
In fact, Sinclair is going to be there the next half lap or less, or half lap or more, I think. Right there, half lap. He'll be right at the backside of Bree.
He might go purple this lap, Gary. He had a huge run down the front stretch. He's going to get a big toe here down the backstretch.
Oh,
no!
In front of a Van Gastel's, and we are caution. And I don't know what happened there, but you saw it from Sinclair's point of view, and he didn't have much time to act. Wow.
He did exactly what he needed to do. He cranked that wheel left, got to the white line, and avoided Pim Van Gastel at the very last moment.
What happened here? We'll check it out.
Think it might be the netcode monster coming out and rearing its ugly head.
Oh, that's an
exactly
awful
what it
netcode.
was.
That was awful netcode.
Could have fit a whole tire and a half between Van Gastel and Bree. Netcode didn't care. Said, sorry, folks. Getting a late race yellow.
Wow.
Really good job from Vitor there, recognizing the path that Van Gastel was going to take, and a really good job from Van Gastel slamming on the brakes, keeping the brakes locked so his car followed a predictable trajectory.
And there goes Christensen getting the wave around. So he's going to rejoin the tail end of the lead lap. So all the Christensen fans in chat, he's going to have a shot at it, but he's a pass a lot of cars here in the closing stages.
When you get the wave like this, you start at the back of them all, right? So if there's anyone who's off the pace, anyone who gets a bad restart, you have to work your way through them and make up that deficit.
17 to go. It's Altena, Bree, Sinclair, Vitor, Kinder, your top 5. Lights are out on the pace car. It's going to be very interesting. This sprint to the end, 16 laps to decide it here at Kansas Speedway. And who is going to be the one that's going to come out on top? Is it going to be a former champion in the form of Julian? Is it going to be a first-time winner in the form of Tim Bree, Matty Sinclair, or Vitor?
Or Seb Kinder. Second, third, fourth.
We shall see. Here we go. Green flag in the air.
Bree might have a big run down the backstretch or coming to the front here. He wasn't left in the dust by Altena. He's solidly in the wake. Let's see what he does with it. Kinder now in the picture, too. He'll be in fourth coming into 3. Rules for this league invalidate the use of the apron at all times. Bree cannot make a move to the left down the front. Sinclair to the outside, trying to get 2 for the price of 1 with his big run.
Stalls
out to the outside of Bree.
Here comes O'Sullivan.
So, yeah, Sinclair is so jealous of Altena. That's the position he should have been in, he feels like. Putting himself in the danger zone makes it so he has a mountain to climb here with just 15
O'Sullivan.
To go in Kansas.
We got 5, and O'Sullivan goes purple that time by a 2:20.2.
Hey, windows open, Gary. Here they come. Pedal to the metal. No one's
3
lifting.
wide in the 3. O'Sullivan up top. Matty in the middle. Bree down low. And O'Sullivan had, contact. Bree needs to get back up on the racetrack. Can he do it? Okay, he does.
I think Sinclair might have a damaged front wing. You can see there, it looks marred.
It does.
Trying the same trick on Altena, seeing if he can poke his wing in to break the draft on the front and then pull around him. Netcode has been forgiven.
He got forgave, yeah. Oh, contact again. Bree just getting muscled, brute forced, really. He's got to be like, come on, guys.
Everyone's still going forward. I don't think that's something to get upset about. No harm, no foul so far from my take. Matty's got to watch it, though. He can't keep ducking left for no reason.
Julian has 5 wins in these cars, 2 for O'Sullivan, but no wins for Sinclair, Kinder, Bree, or Vitor. Oh, this is a lot of weaving, getting close to one another, side drafting down the backstretch.
Bree has a run. He lifts to stay behind Altena. I wonder if Bree thinks that his best bet at finishing second is just to weld himself to the rear wing of Altena. O'Sullivan getting bargy with Sinclair.
From the Robbie Gordon cam, from Tim Bree as he chases down Julian, stays stuck to him on the bottom side. I don't think he's coming off the bottom for anything at all. I don't blame him. Not with 9 to go.
O'Sullivan's to his outside.
Not with 9 to go. And I think Kinder intends to try to follow him through if he can. Here's a run for Sinclair on the outside. It stalls out. We go 2 wide in the 1 and 2. Now 3 wide in the middle of 1 and 2. Now we go 2 wide, 2 by 2 down the backstretch. 8 to go.
Meanwhile, Furness and Christensen are working together to try to catch this group at the front. They brought it down from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds. I don't think they'll get there, but it's possible Christensen could make a late charge. O'Sullivan gets in line right behind Altena. Being the good teammate, he's playing the blocker, keeping Sinclair at bay.
Well, I don't know how much of a good teammate. I gotta guess he really wants to win this, being that he's in the points championship, and Julian very much needs the monkey off his back as Liam O'Sullivan goes up and blocks, or just slides in front of Matty a little bit.
He sees Sinclair as the threat. He's got to block Sinclair. I love that high side move from Sinclair. It lets you build a really big run on the exit of the corner. Let's see what he does down the front.
Here comes Vitor on the outside. He's just got to run out of room and run out of speed up on the high side momentum. Oh, there's a contact and there's a big wreck, and that might be the race. And unfortunately, that took out Sinclair, Vitor, and Bree.
With 4 to go, I think this race is over. If there had been 1 lap to go, or 1 more lap to go, Christensen would get a shot at his teammates up front, but he'll have to settle for 4th.
What happened here at the start-finish line? Oh, and Bree and Sinclair came down, and Bree was really low, and they came up and got each other. 1
zigged, 1 zagged. O'Sullivan couldn't quite figure out where he wanted to be, and they both said that they wanted to be behind him. There's just not enough room for 2 cars there.
And this might be the race. We shall see. If not, we're going to get probably a green-white checker. But right now, not very many cars left on the racetrack either. It's Julian, and here comes Inch. He's going to get a wave around. He'll join the tail end of the lead lap.
And those 3 cars that were collected are going to come home at the end of the top 10. They might finish 7th, 8th, and 9th here. Or 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Oh, lights out on the pace car. Okay, so we're going to go actually green-white checker. We are going to sprint this out to the end.
Oh, boy.
We are going to sprint this out to the end. Okay, gloves are off. Well, boxing gloves are off. Racing gloves still are on. It's going to be down between Altena, O'Sullivan, Kinder, and Christensen now. So all you Christensen fans in chat, he's got a chance now. He is in the running for this thing. Dan Inch is even in the running for this thing. If there's a big wreck that these 2 or 3 or 4 of these guys take each other out, Dan Inch inherits a win. So we're going to see coming to the green flag this time by to decide the race here in Kansas. It is Altena, O'Sullivan, Kinder, Christensen, and Inch. Your top 5 with the top 4 together to decide this race in the 1.
Flash bulbs in the grandstand popping off. Everyone on the edge of their seat. Let's see what O'Sullivan does with this run down the backstretch. Winds up behind Altena. Not enough momentum to make a move yet. Christensen looking on the outside of Kinder for 3rd. White flag in the air. Here comes O'Sullivan to the outside of Altena. Kinder going 3 wide through 2. The Altena cars now run 1, 2, 3 on the bottom. Bring us home, Gary.
Here comes Christensen to the bottom, but looks like it's too much drag racing in the back for the win. Julian's going to stay to the low side, and he's going to get the win badly needed here for him to get the monkey off his back here at Kansas. Christensen gets second. O'Sullivan in third. It is an Altena Autosport sweep of the podium.
Christensen from 4th to 2nd on the last lap with an absolute superhero move, muscling his teammate Liam O'Sullivan out of the way, saying, I want 2nd place. You've got the championship lead. I want something. Give it to me.
And Julian just coming to pit road. I don't think he's going to do any burnout. Okay, now they're all going to the grass to do burnouts.
Well deserved. Teammates on the podium together, celebrating together. A night to remember for the AA cars, and a night to forget for Matty Sinclair. A night to learn from, really. Guess his car wasn't damaged, Gary. Maybe I was wrong.
Well, we're going to ask him here in a little bit. But Altena with the win. Christensen second by 0.054. Just missing out on that first win here in the Iconic Series. Liam O'Sullivan probably holding on to the points lead. He comes home third. Kinder gets a top 5 out of this. And actually, Kinder, you got to feel pretty good with all the attrition and everything that happened to come home even fourth is probably a pretty good finish and feeling. Inch, a surprise top 5 there. Good on him for just surviving. One of his best finishes of the season. Tim Bree probably thinks that he should finish better than 6th, and I agree. Sinclair, same way, in 7th. Vitor in 8th, Pim in 9th, and Layson Furness in 10th. Sanchez, 11th. Hesche, 12th. Wags in 13th. Santos, 14th. Coker, 15th. Strauss in 16th. Silvazzi with an early out in 17th. Weber, an early out in 18th. And, well, Clinty will get credit for 19th. I don't know if he'll get those points or not.
Julian better give them to me. He kicked me from the race.
So, Julian doing the Polish victory lap.
Whole team on the start-finish line. Photo op moment.
And Liam O'Sullivan, we're going to bring him up here first. Before we do, let's just get some replays in here.
Got the whole crew waiting, so once you're ready, let me know and I'll pull them up.
All right, stand by. And the purple lap of that race actually did belong to O'Sullivan, so a little something to hang the hat on. All right. And we will bring in Liam here. And there he is, Liam O'Sullivan, our points leader coming into today's race, the co-leader, but I think you had the tiebreakers leaning your advantage there to give you the actual designation as leader coming into the race. But a very exciting race for you today. At one point, it looked like you kind of threw it away when you came to pit road under those green flag conditions, but you were able to claw your way back into this. And almost getting a win there at the end. Just there was really no way to pass Julian on the low side with the way that these were set up. Talk about your race, but first things first, I mean, that pit stop had to feel pretty disastrous for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lucky break. I really don't think I had any business getting a podium after that mistake with how competitive the series is normally now. I knew I was still in it based off just the style of racing. I knew if it was going to pack up again, that was kind of what was going to end up happening. But it was catching me out early on that just no one else was swap drafting. Like, I think me and Matty pulled about 7 seconds, and it's like, come on, guys, let's get organised and in a line. But especially that second time, where I on purpose waited 3 seconds to John because of the mistake I made. And I don't know. It takes a while for some people to finally realise what we're doing. And then when we finally got it going, it was a little bit too late, I thought. But anyway, we got lucky breaks with the cautions, especially with the second one, because I kind of got screwed over by the first one again, as usual. But yeah, overall, I mean, I can't remember the last time, or if it's even happened, we've had a team 1, 2, 3, especially at a track like this. I could have won that race or finished third. I mean, the plan was, where I made all my ground on the end there, was to sit on that outside alongside Julian, because the person on your inside can't advance any further, so you're quite safe in that second. Whereas if I sat right behind him, Seb Kinder would have flown around my outside, which is kind of, I lost the position to John, but it's like, I kind of had to sit there for the safety, and it's the same thing. I didn't take the run on Julian at the end there. I would have been just shuffled right to the back because I would have never cleared him. But anyways, great team race, good race for the championship, in a race where, I mean, I probably should have deserved a 9th or a 10th when you make a mistake like that.
Go ahead, Clindy.
A man of many talents is showcased today. We saw you both being the spear, trying to catch the front, and the shield, protecting your teammates at the end. Which do you prefer, being on offense or being on defense?
It's difficult, because when you're that person as the kind of leading, especially at the end on that outside line, is I have Tim on that inside who's trying to push Matty up. I've got Matty making it 3 wide. It's kind of, your destiny's not in your hands anymore. It's very, and I mean, after a load of Indy fixed races, you're likely to get turned into the wall about 50% of the time, and then 50% you're fine. So when the swap drafting was going in the other way of working it together, it was just, it's quite safe around this track and easy to do, which is what surprised me, how it seems so alien to some people. But yeah, I mean, overall we had the fair share of crashes, but we knew coming into this race it was going to be like that survival race, which qualifying didn't put me on the back foot a bit, which I think I've never experienced qualifying that low. Made up for it and got the result.
Oh, I thought you didn't qualify. You just put in a stinker of a queue time?
No, on my queue lap, I cut I put a wheel in the grass on the front straight, and it gave me an off track. I was just trying to cut a little too much time off of it.
Well, you've got the spotlight and the microphone right now for any friends, family, sponsors, or shoutouts you'd like to give. It's all yours. You earned it today by bringing home the bronze medal.
Yeah, Mum, Dad watching as always. Great to have their support. Grandparents in Wales, London, always watching as well. Yeah, it was I want to say thanks to the team as well, obviously. I mean, great team result, and hopefully we carry that into Indy again tomorrow. Place we've historically been good, and I've been strong. And yeah, hopefully extend the lead next time out in this championship as well.
Well, congrats on the finish. We know you wanted a little bit more out of that. I don't think the points have been updated quite yet. I think Sim Racer Hub is acting a little slow right now, so we might not know until after the broadcast. But I think it's good enough to at least maintain the lead and continue the championship on to the next round. We'll see you in 2 weeks, probably as the points leader, going to Legacy Phoenix.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, we will move him on down and bring up a guy that we've talked to before, but not in a while, and that is John Christensen, getting his best finish this season here in the ICONIC Series. And John, you had to dig yourself out of a hole as well. I believe you might have got a speeding penalty on pit road. You survived that. You got the wave around after one of those late cautions, and then you were still able to drive yourself back up to the front and edge out your teammate for the second step. Talk about your race. I mean, you had your hands full with the drama situation changing nearly every lap for you.
Uh, I mean, how much is 20 over the speed limit? Yeah, completely whiffed that one, and I was really upset because me and Liam, we started working really well together. He slowed up for me, and then we started working together. We were catching the leaders, running them down, and I screwed it up, and I was like, "Oh no, did I just put myself and my teammate in the hole?" But luckily there was a yellow at the right time, and just a couple more fortunate yellows after that to put me back on the lead lap.
Go, Clinty.
Well, John, you definitely had a legion of fans in the chat today, all cheering you on. Very happy to see you pull off this second place result today. Can you take me through your thought process on charging from fourth to second on the last lap? That was incredible.
I just kind of was like, I don't know. I saw Seb move to the outside, and I kind of was in the mindset of, I don't think with how the racing has been, I don't think I'm going to be able to get the win. So I'll try to go on the inside, protect a team podium, and I guess it worked out in the end. If I tried fighting, maybe it would have been the same result, maybe it would have been different, but I think it worked out in the end. But I was a little bit stressed.
Well, I think you can relax now, getting the P2 today, and a great finish for the team. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone to say hi to before we let you go? It's been a while since we had you here, so take your time.
Yeah, it's been a good couple months. Hopefully I'll be back soon, but I don't know if Liam said the sponsors, but they get all 30 cars on the podium. They get 30 sponsor reads. IFS Personal Finance Planning, Lovers Incorporated, and Alzheimer's Association. Thank you guys for sponsoring the team. And then shout out to parents who are probably going to watch at some point. I don't know if my dad's watching now.
You had a lot of
And
people
then
in
my
chat
friends.
shouting you out,
And then
so
that whole server, there was a big server ping in just a different server I'm in that I got added to last night, and they were really excited to
good.
see me race. I'm sorry, I don't remember what the server's called. I'll just call you the cheese people. But yeah, thank you guys.
Well, congratulations, and it's been a while since we've had you up here. It's good to have you back. Good to see you on the second step. Thanks for bringing all the fans, all those you joined because you wanted to see John. He delivered today for you, P2 at Kansas. We'll catch you the next one, John, when we head over to Legacy Phoenix.
Thank you guys.
All right, then let's bring up the man of the hour, and we'll bring in Julian, and there he is. And we'll just get right to the elephant in the room question for Julian. Julian coming to pit road for that first stop, kind of an accordion action with you and Maddie and all the cars behind you, seemingly. Did that damage you? And were you down on speed for a good chunk of that race? Or were you just kind of biding your time? We couldn't really tell. And then as soon as you started racing, we're like, well, maybe he is all repaired and good to go. But I'm sure that an accordion-style reaction contact on pit road was probably the least of your worries in this race.
Yeah, I was following Matty into the pits, and I wasn't actually paying attention to the speed. He was going over it, so he suddenly slowed down, and I wasn't expecting it because I thought we were going around pit speed, which I assumed wrong, and I hit the back of him, so that was on me. Set that off entirely. So, yeah, that just put me in the mid pack, and people not knowing how to swap, not knowing how to run a race. It's really annoying sometimes, but I keep saying it. This series is to learn, and eventually they did, so that was good. We were able to close the gap eventually with John and Liam, who were swapping, and Edson was sitting in line. Vito was sitting in line as well. We were kind of all chilling at that point and just letting John and Liam do the swapping. And we were going to catch them at the front until the yellow came out, one of the many. And from there, just a bunch of accidents set off behind me. I was actually leading the race through pit strategy. A yellow came out right when I was going to pit, so that really helped me out. So yeah, all in all, a pretty good day. Shame about the many incidents today, including mine, which will have to be reviewed. But overall, I don't think the entire race wasn't too bad. But like I say, it could have been a lot cleaner. So that's something that we'll take to the next one. But overall, pretty happy about the 1, 2, 3 for the team. Good result. And Liam was actually boxing in Seb on the outside a little bit there, so John could go through and secure that 1, 2, 3. So that was good teamwork for those two, for John and Liam. But yeah, that's really it. My race on the final couple of restarts was pretty boring, to be honest. I just knew that if I held the inside line, I would win it. So that's what I did.
Quick follow-up before I pass it back to Clindy. Is this the first time that the team has done a podium sweep? I know we got close a couple of times in the past, like a 1 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2, or 2 and a 3 and a something like that. But I can't remember. Has a team swept the podium before that you can recall?
That would be a question for John and Liam. Those two are the nerds on the team. I don't really know. It very well could be. I have no clue, so I'm not gonna say yes or no because I really don't know.
Go ahead, Clindy.
Yeah, two things. First and foremost, congratulations on getting that monkey off your back. But first, when you watch this broadcast, you're going to be in awe of how good your guys' cars look under golden hour. It is a treat to watch your AA cars go around in chrome here and these DW12s with the golden sunlight just shimmering off of them. But my second question is, are you going to keep the old wheel as your new wheel? You seem to do pretty well with it.
Yeah, it might be a lucky charm, to be honest. I'm not sure if I should ask you this, but Kyle, do you reckon I'm gonna find some white stains on my underpants after the race when I watch my cars?
I mean, we don't want to be demonetized. Not that we are.
We gotta wait.
Hey,
We still got a little to go before we get
Viagra cars in the field.
Let's just say you're gonna be on the edge of your seat, buddy.
Yeah, we do have Viagra cars in the field, so. But all right, I'll be watching.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. You know the drill.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully Alex is all right. He sponsors the series. Thanks to him for everything he's done so far, and hopefully we see him back soon. It's a bit confusing and everything, but I hope he's all well. I want to thank Gary Lovern as well, Lovern Incorporated. You guys for broadcasting, the entire team. As I mentioned, 1, 2, 3. Great teamwork by Liam, especially with John, to work against Seb a little bit and get all 3 cars on the podium. So great job by those 2 guys as well. Need to look at my channel real quick to make sure I don't forget anybody. The Alzheimer's Association as well, by the way, sponsoring tomorrow's Indy 500. It's a great cause. I'm sure you may or may not have mentioned it once or twice already. So if you have the ability to donate or simply want to learn more about Alzheimer's disease, go to alz.org. Yeah, you do have the option to donate there. Every penny counts. So please do go over there and read or donate if you're able. My girlfriend downstairs, I forgot her last time. She was pretty upset about that, so I'm sorry.
Bad. That's a rookie move. Rookie move.
So many things happen during these races. That's my excuse. I'll hide behind that. Love her a lot, and yeah, I'm probably gonna watch the next episode of The Rookie now to make up for it. But yeah, thanks to her support as well, and just everybody who came out today. It was nice to see 18 cars again. Shame only 5 or so finished, but that's just Kansas sometimes for you.
Well, congratulations on the win. The points have been updated, but I don't think they're right. It's showing you with 2 wins this season, and I know you only have 1, so I think unofficially the points are Liam, then you, then Maddie, but you might have to go back and take a look at that real quick. But
I double uploaded it. You can refresh it right about now, I think. Yeah.
There we go. The points are Liam is the points leader. He has a 20-point lead over Maddie, and then you are right behind Maddie by 10 points in third. Silvazzi down the 4th, and Heshy in 5th. So that is your top 5 in points. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Legacy Phoenix.
Absolutely. Not all hope is lost, it seems.
No, we still got a ways to go. We'll catch you the next one, man.
Yep. See you guys. Thank you.
And speaking of the next one, and before we get into the closing stages of this broadcast, I do need to show you the remaining schedule for the season. Here it is. And as you see, we are get a little bit of a break, and then on March 28th, we'll go to Legacy Phoenix. Then another week after that, we go to Auto Club, a couple weeks break. Then we go to Homestead, Miami, and then we finish up on the first week of May, which isn't that far away, really, at Chicagoland, a racetrack very similar to what we raced here today. That is the DW12 schedule for the Iconic Series for the remainder of the season. The IndyCar Championship, that's tomorrow. That will continue with the 13th running of the Velocity Online Racing Indianapolis 500. Then a couple weeks off, we'll go to Nashville. Then we'll go to Long Beach for the final road course of the season. And then the Homestead, then to Auto Club to wrap the season up there in that May weekend for championship weekend here in the Velocity Online Racing family of leagues. And that is the schedule for the IndyCar Championship. Final thoughts, Clindy, before we move on to Legacy Phoenix.
Just glad that we were able to put on a show for you race fans on this Friday afternoon or evening, no matter where you may be. I know this league caters to everyone all around the world. So hopefully you saw what the Midwest can bring to your doorstep in terms of action here at Kansas Motor Speedway. It's absolutely awesome. I guess it's just Kansas Speedway, right? There's no motor in
No,
there.
just
so you can come out.
Yep.
You just come out and run it on foot if you want, I guess. But we saw him 3 wide. We saw him strung out. We saw green flag pit stops, everything you want to see out of a race. A little bit of strategy, a little bit of co-opetition, a little bit of rivalry. And the points leader came in and left as the same man today. Your third place finisher, Liam O'Sullivan. So we'll see if he can continue down the war path at Phoenix in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we'll see a majority of these drivers tomorrow on the big rectangle, a couple states east of here in Indianapolis.
All right, that's going to do it for this Friday afternoon. That's it for today. Once again, your podium for the Kansas 225 here at Kansas Speedway. Your winner is Julian Altena. Second place, John Christensen, his best finish of the season. And Liam O'Sullivan, as you mentioned, holds on to that points lead. And he continues to the next race as the guy still to be chased at a track he's very good at when we get to Legacy Phoenix. And, of course, tomorrow, Indianapolis, where he is sitting on the pole. We expect him to do well there as well. Join Clinty and myself again in 2 weeks. March 28th for round 8 of season 5 of the VOR Iconic Series as the teams of drivers head to our final short track of the season. It's Legacy Phoenix Raceway, or as I like to say, the proper Phoenix Raceway. Coverage, as always, will start approximately at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 5:00 p.m. Eastern. Remember, we just had a time change in the USA, but it's not changed everywhere else in the world, especially in Europe. This is a European league. So for the correct broadcast time in your area, you can find everything right here at YouTube, at youtube.com, and just search Velocity Online Racing. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not an easy one, so please help support us with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of today's race. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like of the video, would you? And if you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so don't miss out on more Velocity Online Racing's other iRacing programming, including action for the IndyCar Championship tomorrow from Indianapolis. It's the 13th running of the Velocity Online Racing Indianapolis 500. You won't want to miss it. It'll be all right here at 4 p.m. Eastern. The VOR Iconic Series is brought to you by IFS Personal Financial Planning. IFS Personal Financial Planning specializes in helping their clients make the most of their savings with holistic financial planning that is tailored to their specific needs over the course of their lifetimes. On average, they've been working with their clients for over 20 years, helping them navigate the complexities of investments, the uncertainties of markets, and the ever-changing legislative landscape. To learn more, contact Alexander Bonney at alex@ifspfp.com. That's alex@ifspfp.com. You'll find that email in the description so you can use it today. Track cams for this race are provided by Whiplash Sim Cams. Get the most out of your iRacing experience with Whiplash Sim Cams. To learn more about Whiplash, like them on Facebook, follow them on X and Instagram. All the links you need are in the description. For business inquiries to learn more about Velocity Online Racing and what they do, visit velocityonlineracing.com. Like them on Facebook or follow them on X. So, For Kyle Klendworth, everyone here at Velocity Online Racing, I'm Gary Godsoe saying to all, happy Friday, and thanks for watching. And all of our men and women serving in the military and first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here in 2 weeks in Phoenix, proper Phoenix, for the next race of the Velocity Online Racing Iconic Series. We're going to see you. Take care.